Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Conservation Conversations with Ann Marie Sorrell. I am Supervisor of Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District, and I represent Seat 2. This is a conversation about what's happening in the environmental world. So focusing on agriculture, water conservation, preserving our natural resources, environmental justice, and so much more. So to kick off our series, it was only right that I have this very special guest. She is absolutely amazing, Miss Laura Bloom, who is the director for the Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District. So I want to welcome Laura. Hi, Laura. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. No, thank you for being here with me. I thought that to kick off this series, this podcast show, it's super important to have you talk to our audiences about Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District, to give a firsthand knowledge of what it is that the district actually does, who do we work with, what do we do? What don't we do? What are opportunities for our community members to get involved in all those things? So we're going to dive into all of that. But before we do, Laura, can you just share a bit about your background and, who you are?
Oh, goodness. I wasn't even prepared for that one, Ann Marie. I was all about the district. Well, I've been with the district for almost 20 years, if you can believe that. Grew up in California, raised in Oklahoma, and then moved to Florida. And most of my career, not all of it, has been here with the district since I've been here in Florida. So it's just a wonderful state to live in, and I just really enjoy my job. My coworkers, everybody, the programs that we run, the support that we give to agricultural growers is very fulfilling and just an amazing thing to be a part of.
Absolutely. Wow, 20 years. So let's dive right into what exactly is Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District? That was the biggest question I got when I was running for office last year, where people just really, they've seen it on the ballot, for years. They select the person. They're like, I don't know who these people are, what they do. Why am I voting for this? So tell us about the district, not necessarily what our role is as a supervisor. We'll get into that, but more so from a day-to-day standpoint, what is it that the district is about?
Well, first of all, just a little overview. The district is basically a nonprofit 501c3. We're a subdivision of the state, and we're a non-taxing, non-regulatory special district, which is very confusing for people because they think, oh, special district, okay, then you must be taxing in some way. But basically, we just partner with various agencies to provide conservation and environmental services.
Okay. And then you have a staff of 3. What is that like every day? What is
Myself and 3 others. The guys are amazing. They are hard workers. We work together as a team. I mean, I am just equal with them. That there's no, this person's above this person. We all work together so well, just about every day. Well, a little bit different now that we have the pandemic because we're not all in the office together. And, but when we were all here, there wasn't a project that just one person would work on. We all collaborate together, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of. Absolutely.
And what type of, for those who've never been to a meeting, a Soil and Water Conservation District meeting, they may not get a chance to hear the reports that your team gives with the work that they're doing with nurseries and farmers. So can you talk about some of the programs that you have and the work that you guys are doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of our biggest programs is the Ag MIL, the Mobile Irrigation Lab. And that is funded through FDAC, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. And this particular lab we've been running for several years, but we recently expanded it to provide assistance in the Miami-Dade area. So now we are covering the Tri-County area. We're doing Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade. The program is a great program. It benefits both the grower and the environment, and that's what's really important. It's a win-win for everybody. It basically addresses natural resource concerns, and it minimizes water use and helps to improve water quality by reducing potentially hazardous runoff. Basically, the program is we go out, we meet with growers, we provide them complementary irrigation expertise. David and Robert, who run the programs, they analyze irrigation systems, and they basically educate the grower on how they can improve the efficiency of not only their irrigation system, but their equipment. We also assist them with pump calibrations, BMP, best management practices recommendations, and we work in conjunction with our biggest partner, USDA NRCS, which is Natural Resources Conservation Service, and we assist them with irrigation design and cost share. So just a few little tidbits about the lab. Last year, we provided services to over 129 growers, specifically for irrigation evaluations. This year, due to the expansion of the lab, we're looking to assist close to 242 growers. So that's going to be a big jump. Last year, we documented over 117 million gallons of actual water saved. And you have to realize that that water is going to be continued to build and save year after year, too. So it's a tremendous program, absolutely tremendous program.
Wow, that is wonderful. And to have it expanded Tri-County is even more amazing. But does that put more of a burden on your staff, because it's only two guys and yourself? So does that put a burden on them to now have to go outside of the county?
David covers all of Palm Beach and Broward, and Robert covers Miami. However, right now, David is down in Miami working with Robert. So he's pretty much going through all three of those of the county. And we started it in July of last year, and it has been challenging. I won't lie, it's been a challenge. But you know, we take it day to day, and we're working through the things that we find that work well, and the things that we find that don't work well. We figure out how can we change that and make it better.
Absolutely. Now, for those who don't know, and believe it or not, there are people who just really don't know what some of our natural resources are here in Palm Beach County, but also just some of our amazing assets that we have that people can enjoy as well, like where we had our inauguration or swearing in at the Mouse Botanical Gardens, which I plan to have them as a guest sometime in the future. But can you share with us some of the natural resources that we're constantly working on, looking at, watching, but then also from a recreational standpoint, those that people can actually go and see and enjoy and be a part of?
Well, we certainly Mouse Botanical Gardens. I'm the ambassador of the Wetlands Program, and I can talk to you a little bit about that. The Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge, that's also a part of that program, and we spent a lot of time out there, not only running the ambassador program, but our envirothons in the past. Jonathan Dickinson State Park. There's lots of different areas that we've tried to take programs or events and move them out there and move them around and throughout the county, just to be able to spice it up a little bit and introduce the students to some new areas. But currently what we're working with is mostly with the Mount and with the refuge, and then of course all through the county with agriculture.
Awesome. And so the youth programs, education, we definitely want to highlight the fact that there are programs where we work with high school students, to educate them about the wetlands and other conservation matters. Can you highlight that a bit?
Yes, I would love to talk to you. First of all, can I give you like a brief explanation and some little pointers on our Ambassador of the Wetlands? That's
Yes.
our program, which is based on what the district does best, partnership between the Mounts Botanical Gardens, Palm Beach Soil and Water, and the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge. We started the event back in 2017 with funding for 2 years that was provided from the Community Foundation of Palm Beach and Martin counties. So basically the program promotes wetland stewardship, water conservation, and environmental education. It's a fantastic program. Mounts brought it to us and said, hey, let's do this together. And so that's really where our partnership started. And it's just continued to grow since then. So over the 3 years, we have basically facilitated over 6,200 engagements with students throughout Palm Beach County. Some middle school, mostly high school. We started out the first year with middle school and moved it into high school and found that we were more beneficial with the high school students with the curriculum and what we were teaching. The event, the whole program is offered free to schools, and that includes the charter bus transportation for the day of the field trip, which is huge because the public school system, it is very difficult to obtain buses for travel, and plus those hours are limited because the buses have to pick up the students in the morning and drop them off in the afternoon. So we have been able to provide that transportation for them as well. The program runs for 3 days. The first day is in the classroom at the school. That's the pre-visit, and we focus on the core concepts of the curriculum. And then the second day is a field trip, which starts out at the Mounts Botanical Gardens. And the students get to tour the windows of the Floating World Garden. And they discuss water quality there. Then they move through the garden and they are able to learn how to dip net. And using a dichotomous key, they identify microinvertebrates, and they work in teams together and have just so much fun. Working in groups and figuring all these things out. It's just amazing to see the students out there. Then they get on the bus, they go over to the refuge, and they have lunch there. And the rest of the day is spent there learning how to test for phosphorus, and they also dip net there. Then after the field trip, the third day is a follow-up in the classroom. And that's where the students learn about water conservation behaviors, and they take a post-test. So there is a pre-test and a post-test, so we can assess exactly what it is, what areas these students are picking up and learning.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, does the school have to sign up themselves, or how many schools do you have involved currently, and then how do other schools get involved?
It depends on the year, and sorry, my lighting just went out. I'm sorry. There we go. I'm sitting still, so the lights automatically go out here. So
we're conserving energy.
It depends on the funding source and how many students we are required to reach that year. The first 2 years, we maxed out at 600, and then the third year, since funding was coming strictly from Mounts, and we got started later in the year, we maxed out at 400. So what I do is I do outreach to the schools and let it be known that the program is available, and then the teachers come to me and say, hey, we're interested. And then we start the process from there.
Awesome. Now, when is the next one, and how has COVID, actually, the pandemic, impacted that interaction with the students? How has that shifted things?
Yeah, well, last year we were just finishing up the program in February, and that's when COVID hit us. So we finished up that year, and obviously did not pick it back up at that point. So, and this school year, since things are still a lot of up in the air, and We have not picked it up this year either. And it'll be up to, I'll be talking with Mounts, Rochelle, and to bringing it in for the next school year. We'll see what the school board decides and, how they want to move forward with that. But until we can really get them in the classroom and on the buses and out in the field and, do the whole program, it's kind of just been put on hold since then. But we will resume it at some point.
Absolutely. Now, from maybe an advocacy or just a education awareness standpoint, what other areas or issues or matters do you and the team get involved in, or even our board members?
Well, we pretty much to the programs that we have at hand in dealing with those, and trying to possibly expand the programs or bring on new programs. As far as the individual board members, many of them are involved in different activities that are on their own, and some of them bring some ideas and information to the board. But as far as what we deal with here with staff and everything, it's pretty much program driven.
Absolutely. Now, I came across, and I know that the new administration, the new Biden administration, is really making a huge push as it relates to environmental justice initiatives. In your 20 years experience, have you come across any type of environmental justice situations or initiatives where the district has gotten involved in?
Not really. Pretty much interested in the USDA Service Center. We pretty much stay straight on the path of what our mission is, and as strange as it sounds, try to stay out of the political part of it and just go the direction that whatever our program or whatever the funding source tells us we need to go in, and as far as that goes.
Okay. And then from going back to the education with the youth piece, do you find that, like, I know that there's the wetlands program, but are there any efforts to, especially when we're talking about STEM, to engage youth in more on the ag side of things, from ag training and farming? Like, I know there's the horticulture, a little bit of that with Mouse, but is there more ag training or education around farming and things like that?
We do for elementary students. We go into the classroom and do some reading of different topics on agriculture each year. It's called Ag in the Classroom, and we do participate in that. That's for the younger kids. We have been in the works of trying to start. At one point, I was writing a grant for a vegetable garden area that would come about out at Mounts. They have an area where they have an actual garden, and we were looking at putting in a farm bot over there. That particular grant didn't go through at the time, but maybe something like that will pop up in the future. But that would be another way to be able to get the students out there hands-on, and from seed to to fruit or vegetable, whatever the finished product would be, and show them exactly step by step, and how a farm bot can actually help with that process. So we were able to combine a learning process that's new and innovative to our traditional farming. So that's something that we're trying to look at in the future. Okay.
No, I think that's important. So I just wanted to ask that question, because that's one of the things that I grew up out in the Glades, and we got a little bit, like you said, in elementary school. Like, I remember going on a couple of field trips to look at some soil, and they taught us about how the soil sinks over time and different things like that, and we learned about the Everglades. But other than that, there was no curriculum unless you joined Future Farmers of America. There was nothing else that just really kind of gave you that experience or exposure to the career opportunities in farming and agriculture. Other than in my case, where we grew up, we saw our family members and parents and grandparents work in the fields. But other than that, we didn't see any other career paths that there are in agriculture and farming, which there's so many ways, everything from engineering to technology to testing and, all types of pieces. Yeah. So I just wanted to see if, there's a greater role that we're able to play in bringing that education to students.
I think that the idea of that would be fantastic because there, like as you said, there's a plethora of different things that somebody can do within the agriculture world. And I think that would be something that would fit very well with what we already do. And we just need to find a mix for that. I know through Farm Bureau, they offer certain schoolings and things like that for that. And it's just a wonderful thing. Absolutely is. It's a big eye opener for the students.
Absolutely. Now, I know that there are, we have Earth Day coming up next month, Great American Cleanups, there's World Water Day on Monday. Is there anything that the district does to really celebrate and promote these different initiatives that we can encourage others in the community to get involved in?
Absolutely. You do outreach. Hasn't been as much for the last year, again, due to the pandemic, but usually we're out for Earth Day. We participate in the Farm City Luncheon, which is put on by the Farm Bureau and Central Palm Beach County Chamber. We're right there with the South Florida Fair. Sweet Corn Fiesta is coming up next month, and we'll be out there for that. And we attend water expos as well.
Awesome. So I do have the website scrolling at the bottom of the screen, PBSWCD.org for Palm Beach Water, Soil, and Conservation District, where, those who are tuned in, you can go there and definitely learn more information. But you're not going to get all this good, information that Laura just dropped. So Laura, is there anything else that you would like to share about, your role and, the role of the Soil and Water Conservation District, and just, or ways that, I asked the last question, but is there anything else you want to share before I ask my last question?
If you'd like, I can talk a little bit about the Ag Reserve.
Yes.
What we do there in the Ag Reserve, which is another great partnership with the county. As you know, Ann Marie, and many of your listeners probably know, back in 1999, the county citizens voted to approve a $100 million bond to purchase land in what we call the Ag Reserve. And that area starts around Lantana and basically goes down to Clintmore Road and the Turnpike out west. So the county leases properties back to the growers, and we monitor those farms and nurseries for the county. We're the eyes and the ears out there. And on a monthly basis, Ramon goes out there and he travels through, he takes pictures, he talks to the workers, and basically he's looking at the BMPs and what is being implemented out there. Some of the best management practices that he looks for are nutrients and pesticide management, water control structures, irrigation, safety management, and he gets out there and inspects the conditions of the pumps and the land and reports back to the county on that, which you'll hear some of those reports in our monthly business meeting. That area, we cover nearly 2,000 acres of farms and nurseries. It's the area that we mainly see. Main crops that are grown there in the Ag Reserve: bell peppers, cucumbers, green beans, squash. And for the nurseries, basically ornamental and different types of seasonal plants are grown.
Wow.
program. We have been doing it for many years. We're actually just now I'm working on the contract with the county to renew that. And, you know, we're very supportive of keeping as much agriculture in the area as we can for as long as we can.
Absolutely. Now, does that agriculture, especially the produce, does that primarily stay here at local markets, or does it go outside of our state, or is it a combination?
It definitely feeds the country during the winter times. It definitely goes out of the state all the way through the United States, and we are producing vegetables right here for the rest of the United States throughout the winter.
Wow. See, that's good to know. I don't think sometimes people don't understand the magnitude of our agricultural community here and the economic impact it has, not only here locally, but around our country.
Around our country, right here. You know, we all think of Belle Glade of agriculture, but not out here in the eastern part. And that's what's amazing for people. It's an eye opener for them to learn. And I think Bedner's Farm has done a great thing by opening up their store out there on 441 in Boynton Beach, where people can go and pick strawberries and, you know, just take tours of the farm and actually shop for what's grown locally right there too. So more things like that are definitely needed.
Yeah, they actually just opened a store on Dixie in West Palm Beach. So, which is, I haven't gone yet. I've seen the pictures of it. Amazing setup. And, you know, let me ask you another question. So what about urban farming? Does the district get involved in urban farming as we're seeing, you know, community gardens, like, for example, Riviera Beach a few years ago built a community garden in the city. There's a good friend of mine, Bosley, who has Urban Growers, which is in West Palm Beach, the Henrietta Farm. So does the district get involved in community and urban farming and gardening as well?
We have not. I would say the way that we would touch that is if there's some sort of cost share on the farm, and you mentioned Bosley, so if there's some sort of cost share on the farm, we do go out. We have helped with irrigation evaluations and design, that sort of thing, possibly introducing them to funding if they have something going on where they can get some sort of funding assistance. As far as being in the garden, in the community involvement, we haven't done much of that because, you know, you're still looking at 4 staff members. But as far as volunteers and things like that, I'm sure that could be, you know, something that could be brought in for the future too.
Absolutely. I just think as even more cities are looking at, you know, bringing, especially where we have, you know, quote unquote food deserts, I think as those cities are looking at, you know, more urban gardening and farming, that may present an opportunity for some future collaborations, and even maybe some grant collaborations as well.
Absolutely. There are many grants out there for urban farming.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Good. So what I wanted to ask you, because I know that the district is a 501c3, as you mentioned earlier, and the budget is not a huge budget for those who, you know, we like to be very transparent. So if you can share with us the budget that you oversee, how can the business as well as maybe the foundational community get involved to, you know, help maybe add more programming, such as some of the things that we've talked about here, whether it's around more, you know, education on agriculture for youth and STEM, or, you know, working with urban gardeners, or even introducing some environmental justice education. How can the business community as well as the philanthropic community get involved?
Well, each one of those topics that you just listed would be a wonderful thing to bring about. In the past, we've done some collaborations with either individuals or groups where they're able to bring something of their knowledge to the table, and then we find a grant that we can work in partnership with. So that way, basically, you're bringing on extra expertise who can actually be out in the field and provide a service, and we're bringing on a way to pay for it. So just depending on what the idea is and who's out there, it's probably just a matter of approaching us and approaching the board and saying, hey, I have this idea. Would this be a good fit? Is this something that we can work on?
Absolutely. Well, I definitely, I know I'm the newbie, well, one of the newbies. I know we have a new newbie to the board, Audrey, and I look forward to welcoming her next week at our board meeting. Let's talk about our board meeting, because I want to make sure that people who want to just stay abreast of the things we're doing and the good work that you and the staff is doing, that they know how to tune in or where to show up for the board meeting. So can you share, what's coming up as far as the board meetings, and if there's anything else coming up that anyone can, get involved in or get access to?
Absolutely. Board meetings right now are the fourth Thursday of each month at 1 o'clock, and we are holding them in the public forum if they want to show up in person. Either at the Cooperative Extension Service or the Mounts Botanical Auditorium. We go back and forth depending on which one is available. I do have a list of those on our website. Just go to PBSWCD.org and click on meetings, and in there you can download a whole list of the rest of the fiscal year. It goes through September, each meeting and where it's going to be located. In addition, if you don't want to come in person, which is perfectly fine, then they can Zoom in. So we will be doing Zoom webinars, and they can certainly attend by Zoom. And at the end of the meeting, there's always public comments. And if they want to make a comment or have a question about something, they can certainly do so at the end of the meeting.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Laura. This has been very informative. We will have this video, of course, on my page, but I will with the approval of everyone else on the team, make sure that this is also shared on the Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District Facebook page. And so that way, those who want to learn more, they have multiple avenues to go and get this information. Everyone, please feel free to visit PBSWCD.org, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, for more information, as well as for upcoming meetings and how you can join those meetings. I do have a couple of announcements on April 24th from 8 to 11 a.m. The Great American Cleanup at Dreyer Park will be happening, and I'll be posting that information as well for those who want to get involved. There are several different community organizations that are involved in this great cleanup. So we love for people to come out and help with the Great American Cleanup if you want to volunteer. I don't know will you be out there, Laura?
I may be out there. I may be on vacation that week, but if not, and then shortly after that, 2 days after that, is the Sweet Corn Fiesta too. So, but yes. Okay,
so the Sweet Corn Fiesta, which would be on the April 26th.
Correct.
Actually, I think I'm going to be out of the country for both of these. Wait a minute. But I'll share it with everyone else, so those who are able to participate can do so. And also, I'm starting a environmental roundtable. So for anyone who is interested in volunteering for any of our programs at the Soil and Water Conservation District, I do have a form for you to sign up there as well. But also, if you're interested in being on the roundtable, please go to sorrellsoilandwater.com and sign up to become a member of my environmental roundtable, where we'll be discussing just different environmental matters that are happening around Palm Beach County as well as our state. I am also going to be on a panel for World Water Day, which is Monday at 7 p.m. So I have that information posted as well on my page. So please tune in. It'll be live on YouTube and Facebook as well. And so lots of stuff going on in our community and around our state as it relates to the environment. Anything you want to add, Laura?
No, not at this time. I do want to say thank you very much for what you're doing and the outreach that you're doing, especially supporting agriculture, because as you know, they get a hit a lot of times, and they really, really need it. So thank you very much, Ann Marie. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Listen, I'm a believer in that there's two sides to every story, and I think everyone deserves to share and tell their story. And I will tell, anyone out there that's listening, I will have growers here. I'm going to have farmers, both traditional and urban farmers on this show. We're going to answer tough questions. I have some folks from even the sugarcane industry that definitely gets hit a lot of times with, a lot of challenges. But I think it's important that we have people to come and tell their story as well. And we'll have I'll have guests from different environmental groups and organizations as well. So I think everyone should have the opportunity to talk about what it is they're doing to mitigate any negative impacts that we're having to our environment, especially those that pose any type of health hazards, as we know, to our communities.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Laura, and thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Conservation Conversations with Ann Marie Sorrell. Please share this video, share it with your network, share it on your social media networks and channels, and please get involved with Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District. We have a lot coming up, a lot going on, and even more to come. So please continue to stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.